Hi Aquarius, this is your reading for November 2018. Please set aside anything that you're doing so you're not multitasking, and all of your awareness and presence is here with me on the reading. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths, and as you exhale, release any tension or anxiety that you might be feeling. Come into a calm, quiet center. Check in with your higher self and your guides. Ask them to reach out to my higher self and my guides so that we can create a feedback loop of information to get precise and relevant messages for you. Wow. There's a lot of major arcana cards in your spread, Aquarius. You have the Lovers, the Devil crossing, Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant, the Hanged Man, the Magician, the Star, and the Justice card, all here in your spread. So, big things happening this month for you. Let's see, where should we start? Well, I would say fundamentally there's a lot of things that are changing in the end of this year for you. There's some transitions happening, and I feel like you're gonna start next year in a place that you kind of didn't even see coming. I think you're gonna 2019 is gonna bring things for you that you hadn't even imagined. But for right now, what that looks like is that I think there is going to be obviously some unexpected changes coming up. You have the Wheel of Fortune as your outcome card, suggesting, as I said, that there will be a pretty major turn of events happening, and things will change in your favor in a certain way. But before we get to that point, it looks like there's going to be some transitions that you need to make, which will potentially be a little bit uncomfortable. But most of all, it's going to just mean that you need to work with your willingness and work with the changes in a way that are allowing for a graceful transition to happen. Because you have the Hanged Man here with the Hierophant, and you have the Magician in reverse, and you have the Star, the Eight of Pentacles. What I'm seeing here is that I feel as though there may be some influences acting upon you, which, how should I put this? There's forces at play that are unseen to you that may be actually, it feels like there could be some, just looking for the right word, be patient with me. What I'm feeling is that there is there's some type of energy acting as an influence on you, which is not necessarily like really pure and has like a clear agenda, but that there's other energies around you. It's almost like in your unseen, like your spirit guides and forces that are in play that are beyond what you can actually be aware of, whether it's other people or like just universal energy creating kind of shifts. But that there's something going on where things are going to change for you, and it's kind of like a dream come true in a way. Like you're calling something into your life, which may be around your work relationships or your romantic relationships. Some type of partnerships are forming where at first things will look kind of heavy and maybe a little bit like, uncomfortable, and it could potentially be some like heavy-handed kind of shifts occurring. But what's happening is that you're coming into this sort of alignment where things are much more appropriate for you, like an energetic match. And while there's this like, just give me a second. I'm trying to translate the energy into words. It's a little tricky. what I feel is that like your energy has been like, there's a certain type of purity in your energy, and there's a kind of you know, because you have the Justice and the Star card here. These cards are sort of saying to me that you're going to get what you want, and it's going to be really like bigger and better than you imagined. But somehow there's some type of like undercurrent playing out where like right now maybe you're feeling like you're in a situation where you're a little bit tied up with responsibilities, or you know, there's some kind of like dynamic going on where there's you're under the authority of someone else, whether that's in your work or whether it's in a relationship. I feel like there's some type of imbalance of power that's playing out where you might not feel like you are actually empowered in the situation. But what I'm sensing is that coming into the later part of this year, and maybe starting in November, it feels like a shift is occurring where your world could look like it's turning upside down, or things are changing in ways that you didn't see coming. But what's happening is there's this shift occurring where you're going to end up with offers coming towards you that are much more in alignment with what you want out of life, with your goals, with your aspirations. But somehow you're in this sort of swampy place at the moment. Like, look at these crowning cards here. I don't know if you can see that. You have the Ace of Wands reversed. This is in your hopes and fears with the Justice card. And then you have the Five of Wands reversed as the crowning card, and the Two of Wands reversed as your outcome. So these three Wands cards all in reverse at the top of the reading. Really interesting. And what I feel here with all these Wands reversed is that it's kind of speaking to a type of uncomfortable transitional energy where things are going to, you know, be a little like uncomfortable while things are shifting, and you may not even have like thought that that's what you may not even like. Again, I'm trying to translate the energy into words, and it's a little tricky. It's almost like this wish fulfillment that's coming is something so unconscious that you don't even know about it, even though it's what you want. I know that sounds ironic, but that's why I'm saying, like, these crowning cards here, it's like this transition that's happening. It feels really uncomfortable because you don't understand what's happening, because it's almost like this intention that you've set is something that you're not consciously aware of. It's deeply hidden in the unconscious mind. And the shifts that are occurring in your external reality are things that you didn't necessarily invoke in a conscious way, but it's happening because you do, at a foundational level, in your unconscious mind, you're envisioning and dreaming up a really big world for yourself. And while you may feel uncomfortable at the moment because you're in a position where perhaps as I said, there's some type of authority figure that you feel like you have to yield and submit to. You know, like this Six of Pentacles at the center of the reading, crossed by the Devil. And this Hierophant card here, even with the Hanged Man. I feel like there's this energy here of someone having power over you, or someone having control over you, whether it's a boss or even your partner, or some type of person with like someone you might even look up to in a way. But there's some type of energy imbalance. And again, the Justice card is also kind of speaking to that. I feel like there's some kind of energy around you where there's a dominant energy around you that maybe feels like you are restricted by, or you must yield to, or you must submit to. But there is a shift occurring where, I don't know if it's just some kind of initiation that you're going through, whether it's with this person in a physical way, like this person might be kind of testing you to see if you actually have the fortitude and the skills and the wherewithal and the emotional intelligence to actually rise up to an occasion where, you know, like it could be the same person. It could be someone that you're working with now that you're feeling like under pressure by. There's some pressure here. But I feel like that after you get through this sort of cycle of like discomfort and pressure, I feel like whether it's this person or somebody else is going to offer you something that is kind of like a dream come true. But you kind of didn't see it coming because you may not have like actually like consciously set this intention, but there is a sort of energy happening where like there's things going on in like the energy is kind of coalescing and collaborating with you and aligning with your energy of what you want to kind of create a situation for you that is like a dream come true. This Knight of Cups, like an offer coming towards you. I don't know how to get this visible there. Anyway, the Knight of Cups. But as I said, how it looks in the outside, in the manifest world, is kind of uncomfortable. It's kind of dreary, maybe, like you're working really hard. That's what I feel like. There's pressure on you, and you're working really hard, and it's almost like you're being tested energetically by someone, whether it's a boss or whether it's like just the universe is kind of like a metaphor. You know, there's something going on here where you're being kind of tested, and it's almost like they want to, whoever it is, either you yourself are kind of like putting yourself in a situation where you're under a lot of pressure and you have to perform and you have to like come up with the goods in a really quick way under a lot of pressure. And the result is, like, if you perform well, and most likely you will, because you're very hardworking and you're very willing. And I feel like there's the energy here is that, like, you're so willing. There's such a willing energy here that, like, there's no other outcome but that you get what you want, in a way. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like there's all this pressure and there's all this challenging, difficult energy on you, but you come through shining, and the result is that you get what you want. An offer will come towards you because people will really see you shine in this difficult situation. You're like a diamond under pressure, a raw diamond under pressure, and all that heat and all that pressure of the, like, actual weight on you, like the time constraint, the physical constraint, the emotional constraint, all these things are like you're being tested in so many ways, and you're going to come out shining, and people will really see a lot in you that you maybe didn't even know was there, or maybe you know it's there, but maybe you haven't actually let people see that before. But there's something here about you actually shining, rising to an occasion under difficult circumstances, and being really seen and very much valued for who you are, and getting offered beautiful things as a result of it. Bottom of the deck, Three of Wands, Queen of Cups reversed, the Fool, and the Temperance. So I'm kind of seeing this like, again, like a type of test, an initiation that is putting you under a lot of pressure, and you almost like you are also like seeing parts of yourself that you didn't maybe know totally were there. Like, under this intense amount of pressure, you are rising to the occasion and seeing new things in yourself and coming through this intense initiation under a lot of pressure and shining. And you're managing a lot of energy, you're managing a lot of emotion, you're managing a lot of tension and difficulty to come through, and the skills that you're cultivating, not just the physical skills, whether it's something technical that you're having to do without much learning beforehand. It's like you have to learn on the like while you're doing. Something's going on here where you're like in a situation where you have to perform some type of skill that you've never done before, and you're figuring out as you go along, and you're succeeding under a lot of pressure. That's what I'm getting here. I hope this is making sense, Aquarius. I feel like this month is going to, bring you to new places in yourself, emotionally, physically, and mentally, and you're cultivating skills that are maybe things that you've never done before, you haven't had much experience in. But there's a lot of pressure here to do those skills and perform, like complete certain tasks under time constraints, under, physical pressure, to complete something in a very like narrow frame of time, and the conditions are very limited, and you have to pull something off in a very limited way, with limited time, with limited resources, and it seems like you're able to do that and shine. That's what I got here. I feel like that's it for the general reading. That's very abstract, and that doesn't make a total lot of sense to me. I was just translating the energy. I hope it makes sense to you. Please comment and let me know if you get anything out of that. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now and do your higher octave reading. Hopefully that will give us a little bit more insight to what's going on here. While I'm shuffling, please blast the deck with your energy. Come back into a like calm, quiet, adjust your posture, and put all your attention here. Send your energy into the deck. And let's see the higher octave reading. If you haven't watched my readings before, this reading is designed to give us more insight onto what's happening on a karmic and spiritual level, to see what's going on, what lessons are at play, what's unfolding, how we can, you know, step through gracefully to get the most out of the opportunity that's available to us in the current situation that's unfolding. So let's see what your guides want to tell you through this spread here. Usually when the cards don't want to shuffle like that, it means we're not ready to put the spread down yet. So I'm going to just keep shuffling till we get a smooth spread. Let's try one more. Alright, that feels good. Eight of Worlds, Three of Cups, the Empress, Five of Worlds reversed, Balance, this is relating to the Judgment, Woman of Worlds, the Hermit, 10, Fortune, Seven of Crystals, Six of Worlds, Two of Cups reversed, the Sun, Nine of Worlds, and Woman of Worlds. Okay. 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands. Okay. There is a couple of repeating cards here in the spread from the first reading, but they're in different positions here, and I'm getting a totally different interpretation out of this spread. What I feel here is that there is part of you that is really starting to embody this feeling of like you're coming into an awareness of your own capacity, like the magnitude of your capacity. It's really beautiful. That's the Empress card as the crowning card here in the reading. So how I'm seeing this is that you are starting to feel more willing and available to express parts of yourself that are until now a little bit dormant or latent. And you are wanting to sort of start to reveal to us, to the rest of the world, some talents that you've been maybe quietly nurturing or that you're wanting to nurture that you maybe haven't tapped into yet. But there's this willingness here. There's this feeling of like, I'm going to completely change the direction of my life. I want to try this. I want to do this. I want to embody different types of, I want to embody a different archetype. I want to feel a different me. I want to feel myself in a different way. I want to understand life through different lenses, and I want to experience kind of different types of collaborations and different expressions of my own creativity. And it's super beautiful. I feel really like the energy is so uplifting and really expansive. It's like you want to like just totally broaden your horizons, try new things, be around new people, have different experiences, really shine in different circles of people, break out of certain old types of habits or comfortability that you have in different ways that you've been experiencing life, whether it's through a type of work or types of friendships even. There's a really amazing sensation here of just like taking a really deep breath and just expansive. It's like letting your energy open way up. Maybe you've been kind of like, as I said in the previous reading, there's this feeling of constraint, right? But the feeling here in this spread is more like a total 360, like you're unfolding open. You're totally like from this origami internal shape, you're like completely unfolding and taking a really deep breath and taking life in and opening yourself up to entirely different energies and frequencies and people and experiences and opportunities. And the result is those things are coming to you. So cool. So awesome. You're embodying and waking up certain types of sensitivities intuitively and emotionally. And that is bringing you into this. It's also kind of part of the same feeling of like, I want to totally try different things. I want to feel different things. I want to feel different. I want to think differently. I want new skills. I want to try different stuff. I want to overcome my past. I want to leave all of that behind. I'm going to build upon it, but I'm not going to hold on to any pain or distress or loss that I might have experienced in the past. And I'm going to just like be bold. this really bold feeling. And it's a very loving feeling. It's like that you're opening up your heart in such a way that is like letting love in and letting trust be your kind of main like compass. It's like you're driving forward with your life in a certain type of trusting energy, which is enabling you to draw people into your circle of life, into your manifest world through just a frequency of love and trust. Yeah. Turning the tide on your own experiences. Like acknowledging and there's a kind of inventory here of like, yeah, I've done these things until now. I'm really proud of what I've done. I've experienced certain things that I wanted to experience. It's like you're taking a moment now this month to take stock of what you've done and like just check some boxes like, yep, achieved that, done that, did that, met that person. All those things that I was kind of, that were on my to-do list, managed to achieve quite a significant amount of them. And now you're turning the tide again with the Wheel of Fortune here in the upright. It's interesting, you have the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune here, and this is the 9 and the 10 from the Major Arcana. So it's like it feels like you're taking your energy inward to align yourself with a certain, like you're calibrating your energy to a specific type of investment within your own self, of like your intention, the way you're manifesting energy, and the way you're like establishing a criteria of like calibration within you to access certain energies that you haven't necessarily had access to before. Maybe they just weren't on your radar. So there's this, I'm feeling that with the Queen of Worlds here in the Hermit. It's like you're accessing a certain type of, as I said, you're recalibrating yourself to access particular, really specific types of things that you want to invest your intention and your emotion and your energy into the next cycle that you're coming into. And having kind of like done a checklist of things that you've achieved from the past, now you're turning all of your attention to the new direction, embodying a certain type of expansive, open willingness, embodying a trustful, loving energy to manifest, drawing people into your life that will help you achieve the goals that you are setting. And mostly I feel like this, I mean, a lot of this is around work things, like certain types of work that you want to have, that certain types of, as I said earlier, creative expressions that you want to experience or that you want to understand by just like really diving in. It's like a very physical sensation of like throwing yourself in the mix of certain types of people, certain types of work, maybe where you have no experience before, but you're, through your willingness to actually just learn and grow. It's just the energy of volunteering. Like maybe you are actually going to go volunteering, but it's more. It's not. I'm not talking about actually like charity work or whatever. It's more like your energetic body, like your physical makeup and your willingness to be available to certain types of experiences, is allowing for you to come into certain groups of people or spheres of reality where you get to experience those things. And it's just a resonant match. A frequency that you're putting out is being met by life because you are clear. Any sort of residual like fear or hesitation or reluctancy or resistance is being set aside. It feels so clear, like your energy of like just willingness to be in something, try new things, be around different people, and just like dive in, feet first, going for it. I love this reading. I don't know if there's much more to say. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, Passion, 10 of Cups, the Star again, dreams come true, Commencement, and the Lovers. So cool. Like really beautiful energy of fresh beginnings. Again, like this sort of, the feeling, I can't say it enough. It's just like so open. I feel like your energy field is so open and free of any resistance to actually manifesting this like new path. Such an openness, a lot of celestial energy. Like the Star is bringing, okay, yeah, it's about wish fulfillment. We had that in the previous reading. The Star card coming out twice in your reading. But what I feel here is that it's like the energy of the celestial forces is matching and exponentiating your desires, your willingness, your intentions, your agenda, because you're matching your agenda and your desire and your willingness with a clarity that is it can only be matched by the universe. So yeah, very bold energy, very open, very willing, very clear, very like it's very heightened, expansive, growing. Like you just want to grow so much this time. I feel like you're wanting to come into this next year, guns blazing, giving it everything you've got, and whew, so cool. Some of you might start a new relationship, but I feel like this is more about your internal union with yourself, of like aligning your personal will with the divine will, and just boldly going forward with an openness, with a readiness, with a willingness, with an availability. An availability. Like your energy is very available to life, and the opportunities that come towards you, you're going to meet and exceed. Growth. 10 of Wands here. Yeah. There's just like this is an accelerated path. This is what I feel. This like bold, expansive, accelerated path of growth for you in this next cycle. Definitely like coming into the later part of this year. As I said in the earlier reading, I feel like there will be some like challenges there where like you're kind of pushing through some like swirly energy of like maybe some difficulty with like a lot of pressure. But like this higher octave reading is full power. Extending a lot in your intuitive knowing. I'm going to leave it there, Aquarius. I feel like that was such a bright and clear reading for you. I'm so excited for what's happening energetically and coming into the later part of this year and early next year. It feels really, really bright, very bold, as I said, very expansive, a lot of growth available for you. And I feel like your willingness to dive in is going to bring you to places that you can't even imagine. Very, very exciting. Thanks for sharing this space with me. It's an honor to read for you. Thanks for subscribing. Also, watch that again because there's a lot there. Watch it again maybe towards the end of the month too, because as the month unfolds and events happening, things will feel different and different parts of the reading will seem more relevant as events unfold. Also, watch your sun, moon, and ascendant sign to get a full snapshot of all the energies that play for you. But watch any of the readings that jump out to you, even if it's not something that's in your chart or doesn't have anything to do with your astrological chart. But just watch any of them that jump out to you and just use your intuition, because all the readings are pretty good, like general, like quality life, information. What else? I think that's it. Pleasure to read for you. I'll see you next month.